Okay, folks, this is what I'm showing you guys here. This is my personal computer running an Intel Core i7 2600K. I'm running Linux version 0.6.4 at maximum memory that I'm allowed as of right now in Windows. It's just at 13.6. I have 16 total. The only problem is running into the loading of drivers, etc. Anyways, problem size is maxed out at 42,159. Are you going to focus today or what here? Goober? Okay. Now, I've only been running links here by its timing for 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Within 5 minutes and 30 seconds, I have hit a temperature of 63, bouncing between 63 and 62 on the hottest core. Now this is to test out LinusTechTips theory that with what's in my computer, which is just a basic XSPC RASA setup, change it out with primal chill tubing, and a D5 variable pump on the setting 1. It is an RX240 rad. I'm testing out the theory that if I crank this pump, which is supposed to run anywhere from 1800 to 4800 RPMs, all the way to the max, that I'll only see a 2 degree, maybe anywhere from 1 to 2 degree difference in temperatures. I'm here to test that theory. I'm going to be coming back on here, and I would say about 22, 23 minutes. Well, as soon as this hits 30 minutes on links, that's what I'm going to show back up here. I'm running at 4.5 gigahertz at a voltage of 1.35 volts offset on a P8Z70, Z68. I want the Z77, but it's P8Z68-V space LX by ASUS. Not the best overclocking motherboard. There is no VRM cooling available on this board whatsoever. So, I still have a couple of fans running. You can probably hear it cranking. Like I said, not the best cooling, but we'll see. I'll let you know in about half. Thanks. Okay, guys, I have just hit the half-hour mark on links. Test 1 of 20, like I said before, with memory set to the max at the time. Could probably go a little higher now. Max problem size. The gigaflops, as you can see, are 55.3979 at 4.5 gigahertz, 4500 megahertz, 0.12. 100% load, and the temperature has been fluctuating between 64 and 66 on the hottest core of my 2600K, running 8 threads. And it's been bouncing around that temperature, which I do believe is its peak, for around 5 to 10 minutes. So, I will take the peak temperature. The maximum it hit was 67 degrees on one core 1, so I'll take the rough average between 64 and 67. I'll take 65 and 66 as the temperature range. So we'll go with 65. It seems to hit that the most on the 2 cores. That's what we'll use. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this program running. I'm going to open up the case, show you guys the inside of it, show you what kind of setup I am actually working with here, so you can get a little bit better of an idea of what's going on. I do not have the ambient room temperature. It is hovering right around room temperature in here. It's getting a little warmer. I don't have a thermometer. Sorry. And it just changed, I do believe, to the next lid pack. So, this is what I'm going to do as soon as it jumps back up to its max and hits 100% load again. I will crank that up to 5, the pump on the back, and I'll let you know what the temperature difference is. Okay. Now, the proof is in the pudding, as they say. Please don't mind my horrible cable management skills, but all we are going to focus on is what is this pump. It is the Swiftech MCP655 or Liang D5 variable. As you can almost kind of sort of not really see, it is turned all the way down. There we go, focus. Turned all the way down to 1. I'm going to crank it up here. Give myself a little bit more to play with. And you can hear the pump wind up. And we'll give this a chance to focus. We are now, arrow is pointing at 5. Pump is running full blast. And yes, that is the hard drive right next to it. I will go through and I will explain to you why I had to do that in a little bit. But I had to upgrade or change the XSPC dual bay pump to a single bay reservoir because with the RX240 in front, which is why I have it, my DVD burner would not fit because the height of the radiator did not match the height and depth of the dual bay slot, so I had to get this, which I'm glad I did anyway. The D5 pump's better. But okay, so cranking that pump up to the max. Temperature difference is showing about well, let's give this a couple minutes, folks. Let's make sure I get that 2 to 3 degrees Celsius drop that I'm looking for. Give it about 5 more minutes, I'll be back. Okay, folks. Well, Mr. Linus was correct in his statements. It's never hard, never wrong to test what you hear on the internet to be true or false. We're at 41 minutes, still on test number 2 of 20. G-flaps has been 55.3927, a little bit of a change. If you look over at the temperatures here, this is with the MCP655 or the D5 variable pump running at speed level 5. There is a variation. That variation is roughly 2 degrees. I get in here, hold still. It's not going to focus. Okay, let's try that again. Sometime today, Junior. There we go. We are running anywhere between 62 and 64 degrees on both cores with an average temperature of 63. Now, if you remember on the previous portion, with the pump running at 1800 RPMs or level 1, we were running between 63 and 66 degrees Celsius, if I'm remembering correctly here. So yes, there is roughly a 2 degree difference between level 1 and level 5. So any adjustment from 1 to 5 versus silence of the pump is going to be a nominal adjustment. It is not going to matter. And this is, yet again, like I showed before, the proof in the pudding. This is with the case closed, with links running at the max that I was able to pull out of this thing right now. It's on run number 2 of 20, 64-bit, 8 threads, Core i7 2600K. 62 to 64 degrees. So, 64 to 66, 62 to 64. Not a big difference, guys. This is not going to make or break your overclock. Now, I'm going to show you guys the piece de resistance of my pretty lame setup. Let me get the light on here. Okay, I've been running this case with the RX240 radiator in the front, with the 2 blue LED fans running off 12 volts of power, and then 2 more fans that came with the radiator, one running on 12 volts through the motherboard, PWM, and then the other one's running through PWM for the CPU, so I didn't have the annoying beep. Case sides have been on. Side case panel here with my little dust filter on it is not running. The fan has not been running since I turned it off. That was loud. And the rear exhaust fan has not been running. I have the 2 top exhaust fans running and the 2 front intakes running. As you can see, those are the Zinrulian XSPC fans and the RX240 radiator, which is tucked away in the front. Now, you're probably wondering why I have my hard drive right there. Well, hard drive base had to come out of the NZXT Tempest case that I have here because I could not fit my radiator in the top because it is the RX, not the RS variable. Here is the pull. It is on push-pull. Here's the pull chassis fan. And here is the PWM fan plugged in. Nothing fancy for video cards. Sorry folks, don't got nothing sweet. It's just the 6950. It's old. Sound cards by Creative Soundblaster as a Titanium HD, which I'm going to be changing the OP amps on. And then I have a hybrid setup with an NVIDIA 9800 GT for physics and a Firewire card for my sound recording. Now, this is, like I said, an XSPC Rasa block. It has Prima-Chill tubing, and yet there's still air bubbles in it. Very slight. 16 gigs of Corsair, 1600 Vengeance series RAM. Like I said, no PWM cooling whatsoever, or no VRM cooling whatsoever. And then I have my little setup I did here with my bend in the tubing. I did not measure correctly. I did not have enough to redo it, so I messed up a little bit there. Just probably a very slight restriction. I am running both lights on there on my single bay reservoir and my computer is set up. And as I said before, the hard drive base was on, so I had to mount a hard drive somewhere. I originally stuck one underneath the radiator, but I totally forgot to do it once I installed the pump, and I've been kicking myself since. Pretty much here, this is XSPC coolant that I bought. Yes, I'm an idiot. I bought coolant. It is UV blue if I have a UV light, but I don't, so it's clear. So that was $15. I could have spent $2 with the free biacetyl drops they sent me on some distilled water, but I did not. Yet again, the D5 variable pump is mounted on the bottom with the hard drive right next to it. That's basically it. It is, as I said, an ASUS P8Z68-B Space LX. Nothing fancy. Decent little board. Not my favorite. It's been a bear to get it to overclock very well, and it just absolutely will not do 5 gigahertz. I honestly did not expect it to do 5 gigahertz, but I'm telling you, it absolutely will not do 5 gigahertz. So don't try it if you get this board, or the Z77 variant, because I doubt they changed too much between the two. If they did, well, they're better than I thought they are. And it is just an OCZ ZT Series 750 watt modular power supply. Nothing fancy there. I flipped it upside down because the fan did come on a lot as per reviews. So if you get that power supply, it is a nice power supply if you mount it the way I did. My fan filters seem to not be doing very well, or at least halfway decent. There's a lot of fine dust in there. But like I said, it is a Sapphire 6952 gigabyte. Nothing fancy there. Nothing fancy in terms of water block. I just changed out the pump and the tubing. The coolant's the same, and the reservoir, the reservoir is different now. I actually have the old one over here. Give me just a second.